Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. President William Samoei Ruto is his own enemy, and his stubborn nature, his obstinate nature of doing things will land him into even deeper problems, and he will plunge this nation into an economic turmoil and quagmire that he will not be able even to come out of, because the way he's doing things for granted will not last him for long. Now, today, William Ruto is one president and he is facing three strike notices, three strikes against one president. Now, I want us to go straight to the first strike that William Ruto is looking at. The public transport sector players issue a 7-day strike notice starting tomorrow over increased road maintenance levy, say surge is illegal and discriminatory. That in fact, this is starting tomorrow. That will be on 20th. So, people depend on transport to go to work. And there could be a standstill when they all down their tools. Why? Courtesy of the road maintenance levy. Remember, this road maintenance levy was increased when William Ruto claimed that they wanted to get more money from the Finance Bill 2024 that contained motor vehicle levy. So when Kenyans rejected that, he decided to increase the road maintenance levy, and the players in the transport industry are saying this is illegal, unacceptable, and discriminatory. And since they believe that the only language that this government understands is downing tools and going to the streets, that is what they have decided to do. And the three strike notices that I'm talking about have been announced by players that are attracting very many numbers, huge numbers, and they are so determined. We'll come back to transport. I want us to go to another strike notice. In fact, it is a looming crisis in the country. Looming crisis in schools as teachers issue a 7-day strike notice. Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious. That Kupet has issued a 7-day strike notice demanding the implementation of what it terms as a concrete commitment made by the government to the educators in order to improve their general welfare. Now, why are they going to the street? That was explained by Kupet. Kupet is Post-Primary Education Teachers Union. Now, the Secretary General is Akelo Misori. Akelo is explaining that there is money that was supposed to the teachers' medical scheme. And this is what he was saying, that this money has not been reimbursed. And he's saying the scheme for which Parliament has allocated 15 billion Kenya shillings has virtually collapsed due to the government's failure to remit premiums for more than 6 months. Nearly all private and mission hospitals have been withdrawn from the scheme. So teachers had got a very good scheme. When you're sick, you go and get treated. But the government, a whole 6 months, ladies and gentlemen, that is half a year, they have not remitted this money. Yet this is something that was allocated by Parliament. It was agreed upon, they signed, and the government does not remit this. And virtually all the hospitals that had engaged the teachers have decided to withdraw. Not because the teachers are bad, it is because money is deducted here from their salaries, but it is not being remitted to the hospitals. And so that is one of the conditions that Akelo Misori is saying must be met, failure to which they are going on strike. So they are going to join the matatu industry. And this is what Akelo is. Another thing that they're talking about is that there are 46 intern teachers that they want to be confirmed. They have been working as interns, and Akelo is now saying that they had an agreement and the government must absorb them. And you know what he's saying? He's saying that these teachers must be employed on a permanent basis. They must get their appointment letters by next month. And by the end of July, Akelo wants them to have their salary, July salary. That must be made, failure to which they are on the street. The other thing that he's talking about is that the 2021 and to 2015 collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, must be implemented fully because it was agreed upon. It went through the legal process fully, and they penned their signatures on it. So they are saying that CBA must be implemented fully. The other thing they're talking about is that there are 20,000 junior secondary teachers, the JSS teachers, that must be employed because he's saying they have a huge deficit, a huge deficit. So that and he's saying that even if the 20,000 are employed, there will be a deficit of 73,000. So he's saying that they must, and there's no compromise about it. And he's saying something that there is an innuendo that is being driven and perpetuated by the government, that since the Finance Bill 2024 was rejected by Kenyans, Kenya is at an economic crisis, and therefore they can't employ teachers, they can't implement the CBA, and they're saying the political class must stop these innuendos that the Kenya is unable to move on. And they're saying that they have seen wastage in government, they have seen corruption. Why, for example, do we have an urgent need to renovate state houses and state lodges? Why must we renovate Gashagwa's office now? And I know they had William Ruto had said that they are halting all this. Where is the money that was going to the first lady and second lady and Madam Stacy? Tracy or Stacy, where was that money? Where is that money? That money should come back to doctors, to teachers, and all this. William Ruto knew there was money. That is why he wanted to appoint chief administrative secretaries, people like Dennis Itumbi and Millicent Wanga, were to be given jobs. So he cannot convince teachers that there is no money. The third strike that I'm talking about is that of Gen Zs. They have decided that Tuesday is a total lockdown. They are saying you must occupy everywhere. We cannot accept recycling of the cabinet. We cannot accept Kithure Kindiki and Eden Duale and Ellis Wahome and people who have got questionable credentials. Total lockdown and shutdown. And so one president, 3 strike notices. And the people who have issued those strike notices are in huge numbers. If you look at the number of teachers, when they decide to go to the streets, there are so many. You look at the matatu industry, transport industry, when they decide to down their tools and go to the street, there are so many. And when you look at the Gen Z, so I want you to imagine Gen Zs are on the street, teachers are on the street, and we have the transport sector curtailed, and they're on the streets. What will William Ruto do? And when you look at the manner and the cause of all these strike notices, number one is taxes. When Gen Zs first went to the street, it was to oppose the Finance Bill 2023 that had punitive taxes. And William Ruto hoodwinked them by pretending that he had dissolved the cabinet, that Inspector General Japheth Koome resigned, and he talked about certain austerity measures. Now he has brought a quarter of the cabinet. They are back. Since he only appointed 11 nominees to be considered by Parliament, there's another batch that is coming. Already out of 11, we have about 4. That was Tuya, Soipan, Kithure Kindiki, Eden Duale, and Alice Wahome, who are back. And in fact, Rebecca Miano as a Attorney General. So out of 11, 5. That is almost half. So we are waiting for another batch to come and another half. So almost that cabinet is going to come back. So if you see, you realize that it is taxes. He has increased taxes to the taxes on the levies on road maintenance. And that is why the matatu industry is saying that it is going to be total lockdown. Taxes, taxes, taxes is going to be the downfall of William Samoei Ruto. Number 2, negating his promises. Teachers are saying you promised this, and you cannot implement the CBA. William Ruto has got penchant of making promises that he knows very well he's not going to implement. And that is one of the things that the teachers are talking about. You must implement. Remember, when he was coming to power, he said when he was campaigning, he would not increase taxes. So his promises are hot air. And this has angered every Kenyan. And if he's not careful, he's sitting on a light on a time bomb, because there are other departments that are, they will soon explode. The nurses, the doctors, you talk of every department. Number three is the manner in which William Ruto takes Kenyans for granted. You dissolve the cabinet, then within a week you bring the cabinet, you bring it back. You talk about killings on the street and you say every policeman will take responsibility. You have ordered them to exercise restraint, yet they kill people and they get to churches and hospitals and schools. He takes people for granted. He believes that he's the most cunning president, that he can play around with people. And this is he's going to go down if he's not careful, because Kenyans are tired. How is the police going to deal with the numbers? You are going to add more tear gas and live bullets and rubber bullets to deal with the transport industry, Gen Z, and teachers at the same time? And what image does it give you, and what really does it say about William Samoei Ruto? It is a vote of no confidence about all the lies that he gives them. All of them will be in the street. And now, William Ruto wants to tell us that it is the Ford Foundation that is sponsoring. So is he going to say that it is the Ford Foundation that has sponsored Gen Zs, has sponsored teacher strike, has sponsored the matatu industry? He is his own problem. If he listens to people, people will not go to the streets. Not only listening, if he implements what they want, I can assure you, in last year when we talked about the Finance Bill 2023, he ignored our plights, our sentiments, and our cry and our plea. They passed it chest thumping. Now in 2024, they were also doing the same, Finance Bill 2024. Chest thumping, and I remember the majority leader in the National Assembly telling us that I led parliamentarians to pass it, and I don't care. I'm not afraid of anything. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 strike notices against one president. He made his bed, he must lie on it. He told us he had a plan. Is the plan working? If you look at what is happening, is the plan working? He believes in status quo. There is no change at all. You cannot rule by bullets. It won't take you far. You can kill just for a few days, but it will reach a time when the people say we are tired. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto must change his tactics. I don't know whether he has reduced his advisors, because he should not even reduce it. He should kick all of them away. They are not helping him. The economic advisors, security advisors, it's not helping. Because if we have a president that is now receiving many more strike notices, you do not know how many other strike notices we will receive this week. And before he realizes, the country will be in turmoil. Everyone will be on the street demanding their rights based on high taxes, failed, implementation of promises, and all this. And then you will still be accusing foreign powers. No, it is about the plight of the people. It is about the stubborn nature, taking them for granted. You think that they don't know what they are doing. It is sad and it is very pathetic that we live in a country where politicians don't listen to us.